The act of trying. A bearer of fatigue desires to please as you plead with yourself to be the one you need. Sure, there's wants amongst the fleas that seem to not attract to me, fleas of wants and fleas of needs. To scratch and squirm, an unlikely desire, it's held by me. A feel of wholeness amongst the irritation. Why is there irritation in being what I need to be? Need. I see the needs you have are subjective. See, what you need and what I need don't reside in the same book. Everyone has their own. Seldom do we know the contents of our own being, yet we try. Am I actually an actor, a facade, plie-ing into this performance that is my life, yet I barely know what a plie is, or what it means to me, what it looks like done by me. Trying requires me to walk amongst the wild and speak amongst strangers. Experience the strange because life might turn out that way if I don't attempt. A test with no sound grade. Consumption of knowledge with hourglass expiration dates. Usage of the valuable we know not what will be until winds of life shake us like it does a tree. A little turbulence for the road of me. To try isn't much of an act, but maybe I think this because it's me. If I'm me and collectives are we and the reflections I see are me yet not me, then we all act for change would describe our lives as so. Constantly we float with all our might, sometimes heavy and sometimes light. This one, the composition of this one, even as I was saying it, was slightly awkward. And sometimes my pieces come out that way. Sometimes I do feel a little awkward with the way that it's coming out. Maybe it's speaking it out that makes it a little bit less sound like it was sound in my head. Or like the sound or the voice within my head and the way that the voice in my head would go about saying it. Even though I feel like those two are mending. The two that is the one that is speaking and the one that thinks and speaks within the mind. Those two are kind of marrying together a little bit. As I've continuously done these videos and as I continuously write what I write and as I continuously speak out what it is that I've written, I realize that they are coinciding, which is good. It's good, very good. But today, as far as like creative projects go, I would say it was a difficult but rewarding day. I said this difficult because, and this is not something that, it's not just been difficult for today. The time that I've taken to do this project, a project for Father's Day, because Father's Day is Sunday. The project that I chose, and actually I'm not afraid to share it since it is right here. But before I share it, I'm going to speak on it. As I was doing this project, I was thinking quite a bit about, all the things that people do, the challenges that people push themselves to go through in order to grow, and what it's like to experience something for the first time, yet it's not your first time with the medium. And I'm speaking in artistic terms because this is an artistic endeavor. However, that term can quite literally go with a lot of different things. You can think of a lot of different things or a lot of different skills that you have. Maybe they're not necessarily artistic specifically, but they're your mediums. They are your tools. They are the different things that you work with and the different things that create the whatever it is that you're doing or help you to be able to output. to push things out, to act on things, or to think. I don't know. There's a lot of different mediums that we humans have, which I don't need to spend so much time on talking about mediums. You know what I'm talking about. Everybody has their tools. And as I was using tools that I've used before but never used for what you're gonna see, I was thinking about, it started with the negative, which, hey, that's where I'm at. It's not to say that that's all that lies in my headspace, just negativity. No, I've gotten really good. I do my own stunts. I've gotten really good with embracing my negative. Like, and when I say embracing, I literally mean embracing. Like, okay, let's hug this out. Let's talk this out right quick. So as I was thinking, like, I really don't like what the output is. And that's another thing for this video. The output of things. This is a concept that's constantly talked about within the community, about the community, but also just life in general too, because it very much does apply to life too. The outcome of things, the focus on the outcome rather than the focus on what's going on in the process, along the journey, along the walk, along the jog, along the sprint, because you know you enter different phases. You move up different levels, and maybe you move down too, because this life is, what did I say in that? I said, this is us. Like, that's us. So the attachment to the outcome, I'm glad I caught it in the middle of it. And it wasn't just a thought, but like, it wasn't just the thought and the awareness that, okay, this is what I'm doing right now. But it was actually putting it into play, like sinking into the process that was this project that I'm going to show soon. Sinking into the process and literally just talking to myself. Saying things like, you've never done this before. And a little bit about me, like, I have always loved drawing, but I feel like I always had a knack for drawing more unnatural things. I disliked realism because, honestly, at the time, I can say it because I know me, at the time, I didn't even want to put in the work to get better at realism. Or, you know, just, not even just real, but drawing realistically. Being able to replicate a face and replicate the essence of whatever it is that you're drawing. And when I'm talking about this, I mainly mean people. I never got into it, but I always admired those that were able to do so, that were able to capture the essence of others in a way that I could not, but also in a way that I did not allow myself to, because I think there was a blockage back then, and the blockage I avoided because I recognized that the blockage had an overcast of perfection upon it. And with that perfectionism, right? With that, with me being aware of that, I took the step back, and I took the step back completely. As in, I didn't create anything artistically for years. In addition to other things that kind of contributed to that. But when it comes to drawing people, and I think this is also why I've grown to like just drawing from my imagination, and it honestly helps me to connect to me more, and I can create my own world in a way. I can create my own story. Kind of like I feel like I create my own stories with what it is that I write every day, but I can create my own stories via picture. I can tell you what this is. You have the room, as anybody does, because many things are subjective. You have the room to have your own interpretation of what it is that I create, and whatever it is that I create, that I showcase. But I can tell a whole story from the imagination. I can use concepts. I can use foundational concepts. I can use certain structures, certain figures, and I can play off of those to create my own story, which I think has led me down the path to actually using colors, paying more attention to shapes, paying more attention to lines, the different types of lines, the different energy that each line kind of holds. Going through my art and going with the flow, letting my art create itself. But when it comes to drawing people, there are limitations. This is not to say that you're limited in the growth that you can achieve, but you actually have to put yourself through the work to get there, hence the process, right? And this is why I say, or I recognize, that I did not want to go through the process, because I never put myself in a position where I picked out projects and I held myself accountable. Yet on this day, I finished what I needed to finish because I kept myself accountable. I told myself, you're going to do this. This is going to be a gift. And with this being a gift, naturally, you're going to do your best. Not try, but you're going to do your best, which is funny. It's funny. I should have put something about being, but I feel like I've spoken about that before. And if you watch any of my other videos, you will very well likely come across a piece where I talk about being. I use being quite a lot. To be, or just being. To be, to live, not exist, which is something that I said before, shoot, maybe like a few videos ago, but I'm losing my train of thought. I held myself accountable because this is a gift, so I'm likely to do my best. But I also know, and I knew starting it, that I wasn't, it's not that I planted the seed that I was going to do horribly, but I was fully aware that I wasn't going to like this completely because it's my first time doing it. And one might question why I would allow my first time doing something to go towards a gift to someone. But I feel like there's a sentimental aspect to me even trying to do that with the skills that I currently have. Me even knowing that I'm putting myself through a practice right now. But I think it's putting myself through a practice and gifting someone something that is entirely new to me. That's partially why I'm okay with even giving it to my dad, because this gift is for Father's Day. That's partially why, but also it's like all those hours that I spent looking upon my reference, like studying the face, realizing there's so much that I don't know about the process, going through with it anyway, doing my best. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, but there's also like that proud aspect too, where it's like, wow, like I have to pat myself on the back because I actually tried. I put myself through something new. I took myself out of my comfort zone, for real. I went back into something that I once left because I didn't really give it a chance, and I just gave it a chance, and in me giving it a chance is something that's important. Not even important, but it's important to me, and I meant well, and I spent time, and I put effort into it, and I'm gonna do that again. Whether or not I like it doesn't really dictate the process, though, because throughout the process there were so many moments of just like smiling, like just smiling. I'm like, girl, you smiling while you doing this? And then I have the moments where I'm like, what the fuck is this? I mean, what the heck? What is this? Asking questions, asking people around me, but ultimately knowing that, okay, you're asking because you want, on one hand, you want validation. But on the other hand, you also know that only you can really validate what you've put out. Or you have to care more about what you think about what you created than what other people care. Or what other people perceive your output to be. I do care about the person that's receiving the gift's perception of the gift. But even that, like, you created something, you care about it, you don't necessarily like it, but you love that you did it. The experience with trying new things. And the kicker is, this is going on here. This is also going on my art page, to which I'm going to explain some of these things and, like, honestly congratulate myself, even if I don't necessarily like it, because, well, I did it though. You did something. You tried something. But yeah, the kicker is that this is going on social media, so other people will see it. And it's that concept too, the concept of being seen. Because these things that I create are extensions of me. Like a child is an extension of its parents. This is what I birth. These are the things that I birth. And they matter. And they will grow. What is now, or what you're going to see in what I've created in this phase, does not necessarily reflect the next phase. However, it does reflect the next phase. It's just in different form. And now the different elements of my videos are connecting, because if you watch my videos, then you'll be like, hey, I just heard that. You literally just said that. I don't know if it was yesterday's piece or the day before yesterday's, but I definitely said something about, I'm a reflection of you, you're a reflection of me. Or it was yesterday's, wasn't it? I am you and you are me. I am you, just in different form. So this piece will be another piece, not necessarily the same muse, not necessarily the same medium, but I am you and you are me, just in different forms. I am the start, and perhaps you are the finish. Yet it's never finished until you're finished. But yeah, that's all I have for today. I appreciate you if you stayed this far. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a like. And if you like listening to people kind of share what they write, if you enjoy listening to creative pieces, poems, them little rhymes, and just hearing people talk about things like this in, I don't know, what do I call it? Like settings like this. Like, this is very chill. This is very much like, it's almost conversational. If you enjoy that kind of vibe, please do subscribe. Hey, we rhyming again. And that is all. Thank you. Toodaloo.